I've always been paranoid. Not to the point of obsession, but I didn't like anyone entering my room without permission. I would even lock the bedroom door when going to the kitchen. My girlfriend used to say it was online generation trauma. Maybe, but I had the right to personal space, didn't I? The apartment I rented was on the 5th floor of an old Stalin-era building. High ceilings, thick walls, creaky doors, and sensitive radiators. Everything was secondhand: furniture, appliances, even the curtains. But it had that strange charm I loved. Silence, coziness, and most importantly, I was alone. Everything changed on Friday evening. I got back from work, exhausted, dreaming of a beer and an old PlayStation game. I undressed, tossed my backpack into the corner, and sat on the bed when I felt something off. The mattress dipped oddly, like something hard was underneath. I reached under and touched it. Plastic. I panicked, to be honest. My first thought was that someone had planted a bomb. Then, maybe it was some kind of joke. But when I pulled the object out and looked at it, I saw a tiny camera, its lens pointed upward. It had been taped under the bed with double-sided tape, and it was on. A faint LED blinked. My heart started pounding faster than ever. I immediately switched it off and ran to the kitchen where the Wi-Fi router was. I unplugged the cable, disconnected everything. I sat on the floor, holding that little black box in my hand, unable to breathe. Who? Why? When? I started thinking through the options. Maybe the previous tenants left it, but I'd been living here for 6 months. Could it be the landlord? But why? He rented the place through an agency. I'd only met him once. Or had someone come in without my knowledge? That night, I didn't sleep. I turned on the lights, checked the outlets, lamps, even my toothbrush. I wasn't crazy. I really had found a camera, and it had been working. In the morning, I decided not to call the police. Not yet. I wanted to understand more. The internet said these cameras often have memory cards or transmit video online. I opened the casing. The card was inside. I inserted it into my laptop. My heart was racing. There were 16 files, all videos of my bed, from the first night I moved in, up until last night. Someone had been watching me for 6 months. I almost threw up. I sat in the shower, trying to wash off the filth, not physical, psychological. I felt like an exhibit, an object. My privacy had been stolen. And the worst part, I had no idea who did it. That's when I saw it. A small black dot, right above the shower head. Was it blinking? I stood up, stretched, balanced on the edge of the tub, reached with my fingers, and pulled out another camera. I held the second camera in my palm, standing wet and trembling in the middle of the bathroom. Steam still lingered in the air, but my body felt cold. I couldn't feel the water or the floor beneath my feet, only the sticky fear on my skin. This wasn't a coincidence, not a prank. Someone had been watching me, in bed, in the shower. You can't live with that. Everything I considered personal no longer belonged to me. I turned off the Wi-Fi again, pulled out the cords, switched off every electronic device that seemed even slightly suspicious. Then I grabbed my tools and began checking the entire apartment. For hours, meticulously. Every curtain rod, cabinet, outlet, even the coffee jar. I probably looked insane, but I didn't care. I found the third camera in the curtain rod. Small, hidden between the fabric and the fixture. Its lens pointed into the room at an angle. And again, a memory card. I started shaking. I loaded all 3 cards onto my laptop and felt my stomach churn. Every clip, me, undressed, sleeping, in my most vulnerable moments. Every sound, movement, whisper, someone had seen it. Maybe more than one person. At 2 a.m., I finally made the decision. I called the police. Cameras? The dispatcher's voice wasn't particularly emotional. Are you saying someone's been watching you in your apartment? I've already found 3. And there's video. They've been recording me. For months. All right. Stay where you are. We'll send a patrol. Half an hour later, someone knocked on the door. 2 men in uniform. I showed them everything. The recordings, the cameras themselves, where they had been hidden. They watched silently. Then one of them asked, "You said you rented the apartment through an agency?" "Yes. Keys and Company." They gave me the contract, the keys, everything official. "Have you spoken to the landlord?" "Once. On the phone." The officer jotted something down in his notepad. "We'll send a request for the owner's address. If possible, please don't share this information publicly for now. This might be part of a larger case." They left around dawn. I remained sitting in the dark, half-dressed, with a new kind of fear, what if that wasn't all? I picked up my flashlight again, checked the kitchen, the pantry, the bathroom mirror, the lamp above the sofa, and, finally, the television. I removed the back panel and found the fourth camera, built in deep between circuit boards. Its lens pointed straight into the center of the room. It was still working, and it had a microphone. This wasn't just voyeurism anymore. This was a system. Someone had built this. Someone had access. I sat down on the floor, rested my head on my knees, and thought, how long have they known me better than I know myself? The police promised to check the apartment owner, but something inside me said I had to uncover the truth myself. After a night of hidden cameras, paranoid inspections, and secret devices, I couldn't just sit and wait. I opened the memory card again. This time, carefully. The recordings were sorted by date. All similar. Camera on the bed, in the shower, in the kitchen. But something had changed in the last few files. File number 17. Date, a week ago. 3:12 a.m. footage from the camera under the bed. It looked like a normal video. I was asleep. But then, someone entered the room. A shadowy figure. Short man, wearing a beanie and a dark hoodie. His face was barely visible. He approached my laptop, plugged something in, then stepped toward my bed, and just stood there. For a long time. Over a minute. He didn't touch me, just watched. My body, asleep, didn't react. But inside, I was screaming. In real life, I froze. This wasn't just voyeurism. It was something else. He left a flash drive, then left just as silently. I turned the apartment upside down until I found it. Small, black. I plugged it into my computer, and a single file opened immediately. A text document. It contained just a few lines. It's not just you. There are many. The apartment is bait. You were chosen. But there's still time. If you want to stop this, find the door downstairs. Not the police. They know. Trust only the silence. I thought it was a joke. But after everything, there was no longer a line between reality and absurdity. I went down to the basement. Old, brick, full of tangled storage cages. Cracked walls, flickering light bulbs. In the far corner, I saw a metal door. No handle, no lock, just sealed in concrete. But someone had recently tried to open it. The plaster had crumbled off. I pressed my ear to it and heard a buzzing sound, like electronics, like server fans. I recorded everything with my phone, called a journalist I knew. I didn't know if I'd get another chance, but I understood this story was bigger than me, and someone was watching, not just me. The next morning, I came back with coffee, and my apartment door was ajar. I didn't go inside. I knew the game was over. But the most important thing I had already done, I brought it into the light. Someone had been watching me. Now, I'm the one watching.